in the case of Rachel Maddow, another very famous figure. Take a listen. It's hot too.
Today's proceedings, unexpectedly to me, were like that helpful moment in the old Agatha Christie style British detective story, right? You've been following along, more or less. You know who most of the characters are. You can at least remember most of their names. You know the basic plot of this mystery. But then there is this kindness, this great helpful moment in the story. That was Michael Agatha Christie Cohen today.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I mean, come on, lady. Get out of town. What does she think she's doing? Agatha Christie. Come on.
He solved it all.
It's bad enough she stole my haircut 20 years ago. Now she's calling Michael Cohen Agatha Christie.
Your makeup routine, too.
Exactly.
Also, what a boomer nerd.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, remember those Agatha Christie? Oh yeah, with the silent films. Yeah, I got just tip of the tongue. I'm glad we pulled that back. Holy cats.
Okay, boomer. Yeah. So yeah,
it's sort
Michael
of a symptom.
Cohen is rehabilitated.
Yeah, it's a symptom of this problem the media finds themselves in, where they're covering the Trump trial like the Super Bowl. I don't know if you've perused the channels at night, when you're watching playoff hockey or whatever, but every night they're out there full panel on CNN and MSNBC like it's election night. And so they've got these panels of 6 people, 7 people, 4 lawyers. They got a whole courtroom themselves there on national television every night. And so they got to fill so much air.
Yeah.
And so you get stuff like this as a result of that, I think.
What I find
it's
so
worse than
funny
you know.
about-
It's worse than you know.
You got more?
They've gone
Okay.
from just the panel of lawyers and political pundits to actual reenactments. And I apologize in advance because I love both of these lawyers. I deeply love Joey Jackson and I love Mercedes Cohen too. Longtime Kelly's Court favorites back in the day. But this was deeply wrong. Watch.
Did he say anything to you at that time about how this might be viewed if it got out?
Yes.
What did he say in substance?
He said to me, this is a disaster, total disaster. Women are going to hate me because this is really a disaster. Women will hate me. Guys may think it's cool, but this is going to be a disaster for the campaign.
What, if anything, did you understand about withdrawn? Why did you understand, what did you understand him to mean by women will hate this and what his concern was?
Objection. Oh my God.
Overruled.
So
at the time, Mr. Trump was polling very, very low with women and...
You said very well?
No, very poorly. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I couldn't hear.
He was polling very poorly with women, and this, coupled with the previous Access Hollywood tape, he just stated this is a disaster and get control of it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That's just so weird. How are they doing this with a straight face? That's great satire. It's great satire, but this is a serious thing for them.
And it's not just these two people being weird reading each other. They also have voice actors in the back who shout objection.
Yeah, it's like
Could you believe
a bad Lifetime movie.
It's the weirdest thing ever. I'm furious we didn't think of this first.
We're
losing our touch, fellas.
We could kill this.
We could kill this.
You could still reenact the Stormy testimony. I mean, I think people would still listen to some of that. That's available to you.
That could be gold.
Let's give that some thought. There's no way we can get Hollywood Hen to do the Stormy portion of it, so we'd have to think about that. But yeah.
No condom.
Where could we? Yeah, fellas.
Megyn, you could do it.
Oh, no, thank you. I did a porn reenactment right here on this set one day, and it was just over the way the media thumbs down. Look at how your video does a thumbs down on my porn reenactment. I did it because the way the media was writing up Trump's reactions during voir dire. Never mind the actual porn star and the way they reacted when she took the stand to talk about condomless sex and the positions they were in and how long it lasted. I mean, it was this is like their Super Bowl. The reenactment shame on you, CNN. Shame on you for putting two great lawyers in that terrible position.
I'm really glad you added specificity to that, Megyn. I thought this was going in a very different direction, like a confessional or something. So I appreciate the additional context.
I mean, Holmes, you got to tune into the MK show more. You would have seen the whole thing. Okay, here is the full panoply of attorneys, experts, etc. We pulled it so you could hear Stormy's current attorney. I think two of the past ones are either in jail or I don't know what happened to them. One's in jail. One took the stand and was obviously pretty scummy. Sorry, that's my opinion, sir. And here's the most recent one, Clark Brewster, on set discussing her testimony.
Prosecution team is outstanding. We spend a lot of time with them, very careful dealing with the facts and circumstances and the corroboration of her testimony.
What did she say about what it was like to be in the room with him?
You know, she was pretty nonplussed by him. Pretty much.
She heard him cursing in the courtroom?
I don't know if she heard him cursing, but she heard him responding audibly, but I don't think that impacted her at all.
They were clearly trying to make her feel shamed in some way by her profession. Were there moments that she had been prepared that they would attack her in that way?
I think Stormy was Stormy on the stand, and she's genuine. She's very bright. She's quick-witted. And I think she came across as genuine and open and exposed as she intended to be, and I think the jury saw that.
She was exposed, all right.
There was a lot of exposure, way more than I was interested in. I can Clark Brewster is this cat's name.
Yeah.
Can't you see, like, you know, when they get those low rent attorney commercials that you get like later on at night where they're like, call 1-800.
Yeah. Have you been injured at work?
Yeah.
I don't get paid unless you win.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, that'd be something. Stormy calling. She's like, I was injured at work.
No, but it's like marketed towards the porn industry. You know, I mean, that seems like, how do you find a guy like that and be like, hey, I got a great idea. Here's this world-renowned porn actress who's making unsubstantiated allegations. You want to be her attorney? Yep, that sounds great. Let me get fully involved in my firm with that.
And then you know what? I'm sure he's thinking, I'm going to get on CNN.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get on CNN because they have 18-person panels. I mean, they'll have me. Why not me?
Well, and we shouldn't pretend here, and I'm sure they'll pretend that on CNN, and her lawyer will do the dirty work on all of that. But like, pretend like she's some sort of angel in this whole thing. I mean, there's testimony in there, the text message between her and the lawyer, and all the stuff about how she will lose all the leverage if Trump loses the election, and so we need to get this deal done so she can get paid. So, look, come on. I mean, they want to turn her into this hero of the Me Too movement. It was a leverage play against the guy who was running for president.
Totally.
That's what it was.
Yep. I mean, that's extortion. Those text messages is just extortion. The person who should be on trial is Stormy.
That's exactly right. Dersh was making this point on his show the other day. He was saying if that negotiation was not to settle a legal dispute, if that wasn't money to settle a legal dispute, then it was extortion. Then she's guilty of extortion because you can't shake somebody down for $130,000 lawfully unless you actually are saying, I'm going to go file a lawsuit. And, you know, if that's what this was, she has more to answer for. But now they're also trying to whitewash Cohen, who's got, I mean, at least Stormy's just got sort of a seedy past in this porn industry. Cohen's got a seedy past and present and has been to jail and is an obvious liar and an admitted liar under oath. And yet, I'll give you a little hint of how they're covering Michael Cohen. Here's a montage. Let's start with Shot 4.
Let's see how Michael Cohen performs today. I will say yesterday was the most humble I've ever seen Michael Cohen, and I was pleasantly surprised to see him accept so much responsibility.
I think that he has done a lot in terms of advancing the case, and I think if he maintains his cool and the demeanor that we saw yesterday, and he owns what he did, I think he's going to do just fine. I mean,
reason to think anything negative about Michael Cohen. His demeanor has been flawless.
There have been days where defendant Trump looked unseemly, certainly did not look relatable, looked untrustworthy. I thought today, Michael Cohen and the way they did this testimony, this is the day that Donald Trump looked most like a criminal.
Okay. Oh, let me just put a little cherry on top of that sundae with a longer Lawrence O'Donnell. Watch.
Michael Cohen has at times been a horrible person. But the jury also discovered today that he is the son of a Holocaust survivor who made it to this country and fulfilled his dream of living a better life here. The jury discovered that Michael Cohen is devoted to his wife, his son, and his daughter, and that Michael Cohen now lives a life full of regrets.
Okay. My God.
Son of a Holocaust survivor. That's pretty much what you need to know. He's Elie Wiesel. He's next generation Elie Wiesel.
He's Elie Wiesel. Just give him the Nobel Prize.
And Agatha Christie all at once.
At the same time.
Greatest guy on the planet.
It's just so melodramatic.
It is. Right? It brings Mahatma Gandhi his thoughts of.
I mean, here's the thing is, there are people, fewer and fewer each day, who watch this, and they probably have a case to sue MSNBC for brain damage. 30 seconds of this, I'm recoiling and how would this is enhanced interrogation. Having to watch first a dramatic reading of it, and then everyone said, "Oh, you know the guy who's been an admitted liar and convicted of lying? He's actually a swell guy. Son of a Holocaust survivor. What are you trying to sell me on?"
Don't forget that. Well, the thing that I find so amusing is you remember back in 2016 when the Trump campaign was a little thin on surrogates? Mm-hmm. They didn't have a whole bunch. It was not great. And so every once in a while they would roll Cohen out to do the cable shows. And he would every time he went out, there would be 3 straight days of mocking him because he's so not credible. And I remember as a Republican thinking at the time, we're all kind of hitched to this wagon and be well, I can't argue with that. I mean, this guy's ridiculous. Down on his face, he's just not a believable. It was like a caricature of some troglodyte, And then all of a sudden, now you fast forward, he's playing for the other team, and he's Agatha Christie. And it's just it's
Holocaust.
Whiplash.
He's Holocausty. Yeah. Okay. And here's the reason why. Okay, they need him. The case rises. Unlike Stormy, who really was irrelevant. The case rises or falls on Michael Cohen's testimony. And we had said to the audience yesterday, unless they get him to say that Trump knew about the way these payments that were made to Stormy Daniels and then the reimbursements that Trump paid Michael Cohen, exactly the way they were documented in the Trump books, then he was a loss. He was pointless. That's what they need him to say. Not he knew about the Stormy payment. We've already heard something to that effect from Hope Hicks and others. Because a hush money payment is not illegal, right? So that's not illegal, even arguably. But what they're alleging is illegal is the way it was documented in the book at Trump Tower. Nothing that was even publicly submitted, just put in the book at Trump Tower. And they did get that late yesterday from Michael Cohen. The New York Times reporting as follows. When Cohen was describing a January meeting this is 17, with Alan Weisselberg, his CFO, he testified, Cohen did, that Trump heard Weisselberg say that the monthly payments would be a retainer for legal services. And then the Times' I think it's Jonah Bromwich says, it is that single line from a witness, the word yes, that most directly attaches Trump to the alleged crimes. Prosecutors are arguing that Trump's sign-off on the repayment plan, along with his knowledge that Cohen would be falsely reimbursed for, quote, legal services, indicates that he approved of what they say was a crime, because they say no legal services were rendered from 2017 January forward. Once he became president, this was actually a reimbursement for the Stormy hush money, and that Trump hearing Weisselberg say the monthly payments would be a retainer for legal services shows he knew it was false and was part of a willfully fraudulent scheme. Follow that? No one does. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, Delta was just one of many animals that needed help, and this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a home. April marks 45 years since Leo rescued Delta. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open. If you would like caring for these animals to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner because there are tax benefits too. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call a dog man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.